When you think you're small, you can grow to any infinite size. When you think that you're big, you can shrink to any infinitesimal size. We are back with another reflection on the daily Vedantic, and today's reflection is all about what you're capable of. I was at a lunch recently with a founder friend here in Venice, and she was saying that she's taken up the sport of free diving, which is where you go super deep just through holding your breath, no breathing apparatus, super deep down into the ocean, just by holding your breath, going as far down as you can, and getting better and better and better at it. One of the things that she said is, in taking lessons with a coach around this sport, is that it is all about overcoming the impulses of your mind. An example of that is, she said, whenever you think you're out of air, your body has typically only used up 40% of its oxygen. And in the first week of lessons that she was doing each day, in the first week of the lessons, she went from thinking there's no way I have more air to, by day 7, realizing that stat was about true. From the moment that she felt like I'm out of air, I'm out of oxygen, she could still descend 2x, twice the distance than when she thought. She said the entire sport comes down to just controlling the impulses of the mind, freaking out, thinking that we're going to die. We're out of oxygen. And what is on the other side of knowing that the mind is so wrong so often? Well, it's mathematically 2.5x, 2.5 times the distance down. 2.5 times the results that the mind would say, okay, let's stop here. They say in parenting, there's a tyranny of low expectations around the world, where we think children at 1, 2, 3, 4 can't do what they're actually capable of. And the truth is, they're far more capable than we think. And when we have this tyranny of low expectations, we limit their capacity, their potential, by jumping in and saying, well, they can't do this at this point. It doesn't seem intuitive that they'd be able to play the piano at 3. Learn to swim at 12 months. That doesn't seem intuitive. And we have a tyranny of low expectations. We cut them off when they try to do something that they are totally capable of doing. And we do it for them. And we arrest their development. But what about the tyranny of low expectations we have for ourselves? I go to the story of Hanuman, the chief of the monkey army, and this comes from the Ramayana, one of the 2 major epics from the Indian subcontinent, and this story, thousands of years old, this fantastical, symbolic story, where one of the main characters, Hanuman, is this chief of the monkey army. He is, symbolically, he's the intellect that guides the monkey mind. That's the symbolism. And he is extremely capable. He can jump as high and as far as he wants. He can become any great size, as big as he wants. He can become as small, any tiny size that he wants to become. He has these capabilities, but he has no idea that he has these capabilities. The wise bear king, Jambavan, is the one that tells him, don't you know you're an incarnation of Shiva? You have the supreme inside of you. And hence the symbolism of, not only can you get so much bigger than you think, but you can get as big as you want. When you think you're small, you can grow to any infinite size. When you think that you're big, you can shrink to any infinitesimal size. It's a play on our capabilities and the ability to also minimize our ego. And also the ability for him to jump any length or any height. That is his ability to detach. Symbolism in these damn epics is just unreal. So beautiful to think, why jumping? He can detach. Or grow to any size. Shrink to any size. The utility within those. But he had no idea he had these powers. Until a wise bear king tells him. That's us. Every character in each one of the epics, the Mahabharata or the Ramayana, or the Iliad, the Odyssey, these are allegories to us, who we are. We are all so much more powerful than we think, but sometimes we need someone wise that we trust, has some authority in our minds, or says it with such confidence that we think, maybe I'm way more capable than I'm giving myself credit for. And it wakes us up to what we are capable of. Even when the mind is screaming saying, this is it. We're running out of oxygen. We're going to die. Maybe the mind is just really wrong, really often. And maybe you're still just scratching the surface of what you're capable of. It's not just what this philosophy has said for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. But it's what every freediving coach will tell you today. You can go so much deeper than you think. And you are so much more capable than your mind will ever let you believe until you show it. Because this was the most interesting part. At that lunch where this founder friend was telling me this 40% stat, she said, once you go to that depth that you're capable of at that stage of your training, once you go to that depth and you recognize that 40% trigger where the mind is going crazy and you realize you have so much left in the tank. She said there is a familiarity with the false alarm of the mind, telling you something that isn't true. And it is so often that the mind tells us things that aren't true, that aren't reality. That might be helpful for preservation, but not helpful for realizing our capacities. That's today's reflection on the Daily Vedantic. We'll see you next time.